So there's a lot of weird history when it comes to Zbrojovka Brno, the football team that I showed you in the first video, the professional football team here in Brno. And today we're going to be going on a wee trip, or a couple of wee trips, for me to show you some of that weird and wonderful history.
Take me higher, lift me up, take me higher, lift me up, take me higher, lift me up, take me high, lift me up, come on, take me up.
So when I first moved to Brno, started looking into Zbrojovka Brno, the football team here, I done a Google Translate to see what Zbrojovka actually means, and I seen that it translated to armoury. So given the fact that Brno play in red and white, and armoury is kinda close to Arsenal, I assumed it was a wee play on Arsenal, and it was like a wee Czech version, kinda Zbrojovka. But no, it turns out the name of the team is actually rooted in history, and standing right behind me, this building here, is where Zbrojovka Brno were formed. We are currently here in Brno Zbrojovka at the old armoury, Stara Zbrojovka, and this building here is one of the last buildings standing for this old armoury here. Apparently, back in the day, when this place was established back in 1913, they made a lot of ammunition, a lot of weapons, a lot of armour, all that kind of stuff. And back in the day, they didn't start as Zbrojovka Brno, they started as F.C Zbrojovka. And just over here, you can probably hear in the distance behind me, a train gone past. Right over there we have Brno Zbrojovka train station. This is probably where all the workers get off the train to come to work each day. I don't know if you can see the sign over there, Brno Zbrojovka, just a stone throw away for the factory itself. And who knows, maybe they were actually playing football on the grounds right here, on their breaks and their lunch breaks, deciding who'd be picked for the weekend. This symbol here, the Z with the circle on it, you can actually still see that in the badge of Zbrojovka Brno today. So, we've now seen where Zbrojovka Brno were born. Let's see where a part of their history died. One of the weirdest phases in their history, I would say, is when one of the old club captains was actually looking for investors to get involved with the club, to try and bring a bit of new life into them. And that certainly came, and it came in the form of Lubomir Hrstka, a guy known here in Brno as Bobby, who was apparently some legend in ice hockey here. So he got involved with the club, he actually bought the club fully and took over and changed the name of the club to F.C Boby Brno. So in the stadium they spent most of their days. Bobby actually decided to build a big massive sports complex outside called the Bobby Hall. He built a hotel called the Bobby Centrum, and I think there was actually some sort of dance hall as well. I don't know if that's still there. I think even an ice rink as well. A whole bunch of stuff with his name printed on it. As well as the team, he actually had the gall to call them FC Boby Brno. It was during this time things started to go a bit sour for FC Boby Brno. Old Bobby got in a bit of trouble with the law, a bit of financial trouble, and ended up in prison. So the club obviously had a bit of financial trouble themselves in years to come. And Zbrojovka Brno, in their glory days in the late 70s, in the 80s as well, in the early 80s when they played in the UEFA Cup and reached the quarter final, it was all played in the Stadion na Lužankami in Brno. ended up having to leave the stadium that they'd spent all their glory days in. And that stadium is right over here. So here we are, this big brutal looking building. This was actually the home of Zbrojovka Brno up until 2001. So this was actually the name of Zbrojovka Brno in 2001, when this stadium was no longer able to meet FIFA requirements and regulations. I believe they actually ran into financial trouble as well after all the ordeal with Big Bobby. They couldn't afford to stay in the stadium anymore, and it has just been left like this since 2001. So let's see if we can get inside. But you can actually see there the old staircase. That's probably to get out onto the turnstiles there. It is just absolutely mental how I can even walk here. Never mind try to get in. Place has just been absolutely abandoned. It is a bit windy today. I really hope you can hear me. Oh, what do we have here? A big wide opening. Let's go in. Jesus. So as you can see, over the years since 2001, this place has literally just been left for nature to take over and run its course. Let's have a wee journey a bit. Let's try and get through all these bushes. So obviously where we're standing right now, this was the old seating area. Here you would have thousands of Zbrojovka Brno fans and away fans for all your Czech Republic, or your Slovakia as well. When it was still the old Czechoslovakian league, they'd have been coming here to Stadion na Lužankami to see Zbrojovka play. In the top flight of Czech football. They even won the league right here, 1978 I believe that was, maybe it's in 1979. But aye, this stadium was actually the largest stadium in all of Czechoslovakia up until the 80s. And still to this day, this place holds the highest attendance for any Czech football match. So as you've seen just as I was entering, in 2001 their name was actually F.C Zbrojovka Brno, and that's when they ran into trouble and had to leave the stadium. If you go back to my first video, the Zbrojovka Brno vlog, you'll see where they're currently playing. That's in the Miecki Stadion, the Srbska Stadion. But aye, since 2001 this place has just been abandoned. Let's get up actually on the top turnstile. There we go. There we go. So it's something for I Am Legend. But aye, it's just absolutely mental. I don't know if there's any way I can like really get inside without having to climb through one of these dodgy broken windows, which I'm not really too keen on. Ah, this bit's open here. So this is right at the entrance. Hello! Fucking hell, it's bogging in here. Oh, if you could smell it here. Oh, I don't want to venture any further there, to be honest. As you can see, not a lot to see inside. Bunch of absolute rubbish. I don't know if you can see all the flies, but you might be able to hear them. Aye, bogging. So a lot of legends would have played right here on this pitch. A lot of Zbrojovka legends, Slavia, Sparta, Baník, Strava, all the big ones. But aye, right where you're looking right now, this is where Zbrojovka Brno had their glory days. Right here, in the Stadion na Lužankami. This is where they had all their best days. Under a bunch of different names. But aye. So this stadium, back in the day, could hold up to 50,000. So I don't know what this would have been. Maybe this would have been the big old scoreboard where you'd have the team names, who was playing, home and away, score. Let's see if we can get up there actually. So this would have been where the players come out for the changing rooms, I assume. Jedno to zazvoni, ale ja už to nezvednu. So back in 2014, 2015, an old club captain, Peter Svanchara, actually tried to get the stadium back up and running again. I believe he was working with the city of Brno trying to get funding for it, but didn't get much success. So he actually did arrange one final kind of farewell game to be played in this stadium, and he arranged a GoFundMe kind of thing to get funding for it, and a lot of people for the city of Brno. I think the hockey team were actually involved a lot as well, Brno Kometa. Everybody basically got together and done a massive clean up of the stadium and the pitch, of course, so we could have one last game here. And it did happen. I'll actually link a video in the description. showing that. I think it's in Czech, but you'll get the point. It's a really cool thing that happened here. But I think there's been a few different kind of people trying to work with the city of Brno to get this place up and running again, but apparently to no avail. So who knows what's going to happen here. It's been abandoned since 2001, so it's already been a really long time for nothing to be happening. So who knows, maybe it'll be knocked down soon. But I'm glad we managed to capture it here the day before that happens. People of Brno, no doubt, might see this and think, why does he think this is a big deal and why is he even showing this to anyone? But I don't know, hopefully you agree with me. I think it's just amazing that such a huge stadium, it was used even in like UEFA Cup games and that, has just been left to rot. And I guess obviously there is stadiums that are just left to rot and abandoned, but the fact that it's just so open and it's just been for so long, just left here. It's weird. So there we have it. A bit of weird and wonderful history of Zbrojovka Brno. We've seen where the club was born. We've seen here where a large part of the club's history actually died. And who knows what the future holds for them. Right now they're not looking very pretty in the Czech second division. Can hardly buy a win right now. But I'm hoping the best for Zbrojovka Brno. I genuinely hope to see them one day back in the top league, competing with the likes of Slavia and Sparta. I think there's so much potential here in Brno for Zbrojovka to be doing much better than they've been doing. So we'll wrap up there then. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. That siren's going off, I better get out of here, man.